You know that feeling when a movie scene doesn't just entertain you? It sticks? It gets seared into your brain, a moment so shocking or unforgettable that people were gasping, hiding their eyes and talking about it for years. These are the scenes that pushed boundaries, dared to show something so visceral or brutally new that they changed the game. For better or worse, they're the moments you just can't unsee. Today we're counting down the top 5 craziest scenes in movie history. We're getting into the madness, the controversy, and the sheer nerve of filmmakers who decided too far was exactly where they needed to go. From balletic violence to gut-wrenching horror and psychological trauma that feels way too real, this list is all about the power of cinema to provoke, disturb, and stick with us forever. The hallway hammer fight. Kicking things off at number 5 is a scene that's legendary not just for its violence, but for its breathtaking and revolutionary execution. We're talking about the hallway hammer fight from Park Chan-wook's 2003 masterpiece, Old Boy. For anyone who hasn't seen it, Old Boy is a South Korean revenge thriller that is a full-on dive into human depravity. It follows Oh Dae-soo, a man imprisoned in a hotel room for 15 years without explanation. When he's suddenly released, he's set on a twisted path to find his captor. His quest for vengeance is insane, but one 3-minute sequence became the stuff of legend. The camera just glides from left to right, tracking Oh Dae-soo as he wades into a sea of bad guys. There are no quick cuts to fake the energy. The energy is real, and you can feel it. You feel every swing of the hammer, every desperate punch, and every exhausted step. The genius of the scene is its exhaustion. Oh Dae-soo isn't a superhero, he's just a man. He gets tired, he stumbles, he gets hit over and over. At one point, a knife gets plunged into his back, and he just has to pull it out and keep fighting through the pain. Director Park Chan-wook actually storyboarded a more stylish sequence, but he found the raw, unfiltered performance of his lead actor, Choi Min-sik, to be way more compelling. The final scene feels chaotic and real, but it was the result of intense practice. The wide side-scrolling shot makes Oh Dae-soo seem so alone and desperate. He is one man against a world of pain, and we're forced to watch his struggle without a single cut. You see henchmen hesitate, trip over each other, and you see our hero's fighting form get sloppier as he gets more tired. This scene didn't just change the game for Korean cinema, its influence rippled through Hollywood. From shows like Daredevil to countless action films, the single-take corridor fight became the new gold standard for raw, grounded combat. It's a symphony of violence that's more about endurance than aggression, and it leaves both the character and the audience completely breathless. Alien, the chestburster scene. At number 4, we have what is arguably the most famous jump scare in film history. A moment of body horror so shocking it caused an extreme reaction in theaters. Of course, we're talking about the chestburster scene from Ridley Scott's 1979 classic Alien. The setup is deceptively chill. The crew of the spaceship Nostromo is sharing a meal, finally relaxing. Executive Officer Kane, played by the great John Hurt, was attacked earlier by a creepy facehugger, but it's dead now, and he seems fine. The crew is joking around, enjoying their food. It's the perfect calm before the storm. Suddenly, Kane starts coughing and convulses on the table. The crew rushes to help, thinking it's a seizure. And then, it happens. A red stain blossoms on his white shirt. The fabric rips, and with a piercing shriek, a small, bloody creature erupts from his chest, looks at the screaming crew, and scurries away into the ship. What makes this scene so iconic isn't just the shock of the creature's birth. It's the genuine, raw terror on the actors' faces. Director Ridley Scott was a manipulative genius. He wanted to capture real fear. The cast knew a creature would emerge, but they had no idea what it would look like or how it would happen. They definitely weren't prepared for the sheer volume of blood that was about to be unleashed. John Hurt was positioned under the table with a fake torso filled with real animal organs and high-pressure blood hoses. When the moment came, 4 cameras rolled to capture the chaos. The cast's reactions are 100% authentic. Sigourney Weaver later said she was just thinking about John Hurt, not making a movie. Actress Veronica Cartwright, who played Lambert, was hit square in the face by a jet of stage blood. She was so shocked by the blast that she fell backward over a bench in terror. Yaphet Kotto, who played Parker, was so disturbed he went to his room and refused to talk to anyone. For our third spot, we jump from 70s body horror to modern psychological dread. We're talking about a scene that doesn't just shock you with gore, but with its sudden, brutal, and soul-crushing finality. This is the telephone pole scene from Ari Aster's 2018 debut, Hereditary. Hereditary is a film that builds an almost unbearable sense of dread from the very beginning. It's a story about grief and the dark secrets families pass down. The film focuses on the Graham family, who are reeling after the death of their secretive grandmother. The youngest child, 13-year-old Charlie, is a strange, quiet girl who makes a clicking sound with her tongue. Her older brother, Peter, is a typical high schooler just trying to escape his family's cloud of sorrow. The scene starts when their mom, Annie, forces Peter to take Charlie to a house party. Peter, of course, ditches his sister to smoke weed with his crush. Left alone, Charlie eats a piece of chocolate cake, not knowing it contains nuts, which she's deathly allergic to. Her throat starts to close up. Panic sets in. Peter, high and angry, shoves her into the car and speeds down a dark road, trying to get to a hospital. And this is where Ari Aster just pulls the rug out from under you. As Charlie gasps for air in the back seat, she sticks her head out the window. At that exact moment, Peter swerves to avoid a dead animal on the road. The camera stays locked on Peter's horrified face as we hear a sick, wet thud. The car screeches to a halt. There's just ringing silence. Peter is frozen, staring ahead, too terrified to look back. Aster holds the shot on Peter's face for an uncomfortably long time, before a slow, awful shot of Charlie's headless body in the car. But the next shot is what seals it. A bright, sun-drenched close-up of Charlie's head on the side of the road, covered in ants. The film doesn't show the impact itself, just the cold, brutal aftermath. What makes this so crazy is how it shatters horror movie rules. We're conditioned to think that kids, especially main characters, are safe. Aster kills a child in the first act, and he does it in a way that feels horrifyingly accidental. It's not a ghost or a monster, but an allergy and a swerving car. The horror is amplified when you realize the telephone pole Charlie hits has a strange symbol carved into it, the sigil of the demon Paimon. It wasn't an accident. It was a preordained sacrifice by the cult that has been manipulating the family all along. The scene announces that in the world of Hereditary, no one is safe, and the worst is always yet to come. These scenes are designed to leave a mark, and we're only at number 3. If you're enjoying this breakdown of cinematic madness, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss our future deep dives. We've got 2 more to go, and trust us, it only gets more intense. American History X, the curb stomp scene. Number 2 on our list is a scene so infamous and brutally graphic that its name has become shorthand for going too far. It's a moment of raw, hateful violence that's almost impossible to watch and absolutely impossible to forget. This is the curb stomp from Tony Kaye's 1998 film, American History X. American History X is a powerful and deeply disturbing look at racism and redemption. Edward Norton gives an Oscar-nominated performance as Derek Vineyard, a brilliant but hate-filled neo-Nazi leader. The story jumps between the past, in black and white, where we see Derek's fall into violent extremism, and the present, in color, where a reformed Derek tries to save his younger brother from the same fate. The curb stomp happens early, establishing the terrifying depths of Derek's rage. Awakened by someone stealing his truck, Derek bursts out of his house with a gun. He kills one of the burglars and wounds the other. As his terrified family watches, Derek drags the surviving man Lawrence to the curb. With a swastika tattooed on his chest, Derek screams a command that chills the blood. "Put your teeth on the curb!" The terror on the man's face is palpable. Derek forces him down. The close-up of his teeth scraping the concrete is nauseating. Then, with his younger brother watching in awe, Derek raises his boot and stomps down on the back of the man's head. The sound design, a wet, crunching crack, is all you need. The film doesn't linger on the gore because it doesn't have to. The psychological damage is done. Director Tony Kaye shot this moment with a cold, steady eye that makes the violence feel horrifyingly real, not sensationalized. He wanted the act to be so brutal that it would tell the audience everything they needed to know about who Derek was. The effect was achieved with a dummy head and a rubber curb, but the emotional reality it creates is overwhelming. Antonio David Lyons, the actor who played Lawrence, said that in that moment, his character's resistance was about a deeper truth. You can't kill us all. The scene is the anchor for the whole film. It's the act that sends Derek to prison, where his ideology is shattered, and it's the moment that makes him a legend to his younger brother. For decades, this scene has been pointed to as one of the most disturbing in film history. It's not just shock value, it's hatred made physical, an act so vile it embodies the ugliest parts of humanity. The curb stomp is more than a crazy scene. It's a cultural scar. Irreversible. The tunnel scene. And now we've arrived at number 1. The craziest, most controversial, and arguably the most unwatchable scene on our list. This is a moment so grueling it has become a dividing line in cinema. Many viewers see it as unforgivable exploitation, while others see it as a profound, agonizing commentary on trauma. We're talking about the infamous, uncut, 9-minute tunnel assault from Gaspar Noé's 2002 film, Irreversible. Irreversible is a film designed to provoke. It famously tells its story in reverse, starting with the brutal, vengeful end and working its way backward to the peaceful beginning. This choice forces us to see the consequences before we understand the cause. The film follows 2 men on a violent rampage through Paris to find the man who brutally assaulted one of their girlfriends, Alex, played by Monica Bellucci. The scene that anchors the entire film happens about halfway through. Alex is walking home alone and takes a shortcut through a stark, red, claustrophobic pedestrian tunnel. There, she's attacked and subjected to a sexual assault that is shown in a single, static, unbroken 9-minute shot. Director Gaspar Noé makes a deliberate, brutal choice. The camera does not move. It stays on the ground, a silent, helpless observer. There are no cuts, no dramatic music. There's only the raw, unfiltered reality of the act, set to a disorienting, low-frequency sound that Noé uses to make the audience feel anxious and sick. The sheer length of the shot is an assault on the viewer. We are trapped in that tunnel with Alex, unable to look away, forced to witness her ordeal in real time. This choice was, and still is, intensely controversial. People walked out of its premiere at the Cannes Film Festival. Critics called it gratuitously violent, but Noé and the film's defenders argue that its power comes from refusing to make the violence stylish or easy to watch. By not cutting away, the film denies us any escape. It forces a confrontation with the true, ugly, and long nature of such an attack. It isn't a quick moment of movie violence. It's a torturous experience. The filming itself was an ordeal. They shot the scene 6 times over 2 days, with the dialogue being largely improvised. The emotional toll on the actors was immense. The result feels less like a performance and more like a captured atrocity. It's placed at the chronological center of the film because everything, both forward and backward, revolves around this one traumatic event. Before it, the film is chaotic and vengeful. After it, chronologically, the scenes are brighter, showing the life that was destroyed. This scene is the very definition of can't unsee. It is a punishing and unforgettable piece of filmmaking that pushes the boundary of what an audience can endure. Whether you see it as confrontational art or an unforgivable transgression, there is no denying its power. The tunnel scene from Irreversible is a cinematic wound that never heals, making it the undeniable #1 on our list. So, there they are. 5 scenes that prove cinema's power to shock, to provoke, and to get under your skin long after the credits roll. They're a reminder that sometimes the most effective filmmaking is the kind that refuses to let us look away. But that's just our list. The world of film is full of moments that leave a permanent mark. What did we miss? What's the one scene that's burned into your memory? Head down to the comments and let us know. We want to hear your picks and start a discussion about the scenes that truly push the limits. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our other videos. Thanks for watching, and try to get some sleep tonight.